Trail running, as you probably know, isn't my favorite form of running, but it's nice to get out to the forest or nearby hills from time to time, connect with nature, and not focus on pace for a while. Trail shoes are another topic where I may not be totally proficient, but let's be honest, if someone has a good grasp on road running shoes, a lot of that knowledge can be applied to trail shoes as well. That's why when New Balance offered me to test their new Hierro, I decided it was a good idea, especially since we're talking about shoes with Fresh Foam X, the foam which in road shoes is one of my favorites when it comes to easy mile shoes. Presenting the New Balance Hierro V9. Hi, I'm Michał and I'm an amateur runner who's simply in love with running shoes. On this channel you'll find equipment reviews, shoe reviews and various running related topics. If you're interested, hit subscribe and leave a comment. It really helps me reach new people. Thanks. And before I get into the running experience, I should mention that I received these shoes directly from New Balance. However, no one influenced my opinions and no one saw this material before you. I'm also not affiliated with any running shoe store or brand. The New Balance Hierro V9 is a trail shoe designed mainly for light trail and will be a good option for urban runners looking for trail shoes that feel similar to what they know from other road shoes. Let's start with the upper. It's made from a material that feels quite durable and firm on the outside, but it provides a lot of softness and comfort on the inside. Additionally, in the rear part of the shoe, we have an extra padding with soft cushions helping to keep the heel in place. The heel counter itself is quite firm and reinforced with stiffer material on the outside. There's also a fabric pull tab to help put the shoe on. The heel counter of medium height. Standard lacing, very soft tongue covered with sweat-like material on the outside. It's gusseted, which helps a lot in limiting foot movement sideways, though considering how much room for the foot we have here, the tongue doesn't always help. I'll talk about this more in the running experience segment. The front part of the shoe offers plenty of room for the foot, but it's also worth mentioning the toe protect, a stiffer material on the outside of the shoe that helps protect the runner's toes from impacts with stones, roots or other elements you might encounter while trail running. The midsole is a dual layer Fresh Foam X foam. Theoretically, it's the softest option in the New Balance foam family, but here we are talking about two layers of different densities, so the feel is somewhat different from what we are used to with Fresh Foam X. There's plenty of it here, with 42 mm under the heel and 38 mm under the midfoot, giving us a low 4 mm drop. The outsole features extensive Vibram Mega Grip rubber coverage. The lugs are about 5 mm deep. On the sides of the shoes they are a bit larger. These are for traction control, but there are also smaller lugs in the middle part of the shoe that improve grip on more gravelly surfaces. Let's also check how the New Balance Hierro V9 performs in terms of weight. The shoe in size 42 EU weighs 293 grams, while in my shoes in size 45.5 EU or 11.5 US, they are 365 grams. That's quite a bit, but still within reason when we are talking about trail shoes, especially trail shoes with such a high stack. About sizing, as is typical with New Balance, I had to go half a size up from my usual size, so instead of my standard 45 EU or 11 US, here I have 45.5 EU and 11.5 US. In the New Balance Hierro V9 I did several longer training runs, mainly easy runs through forest and light trails, and I also did a few strides. What did I like and what not so much? Let's start with the positives. The biggest positive is the comfortable upper. It reminds me very much in this respect of the road model 1080. There's lots of soft padding around the heel. The upper material itself is pleasant to touch and comfortably wraps the foot. The tongue is thick and feels like a cushion, and when tightened by the laces, it closely hugs the foot and keeps it well in place. There's also quite a lot of room for the foot, so even people with slightly wider feet should feel comfortable here. However, every stick has two ends. People with narrower feet might have too much room, which isn't ideal in trail shoes, but I'll talk about this in the cons section. With the upper, I must also mention the toe protect, the reinforcement of the upper around the toes. It works great. Several times I hit roots or protruding rocks and came away unscathed. Nails intact, toes emerged from these encounters without a scratch. That's a big plus. The Vibram outsole also performs very well, both in dry and more challenging muddy post-rain conditions. I didn't have major issues. The tread pattern is quite versatile and provides good grip. Of course, it's not extremely aggressive and doesn't target very challenging weather conditions. We're talking about something typically designed for light trail, and in such cases, the Hierro V9 performs really well. The Hierro V9 is also a very attractive trail shoe. I won't hide that many trail shoe designs completely miss the mark for me. The design is quite simple but clean and pleasing to the eye. Obviously, this is highly subjective, but I'm speaking about my impressions. So, what didn't I like? The firmness of the midsole. As soon as I saw the Fresh Foam X logo on the midsole, my mind immediately went to such soft and comfortable shoes as the New Balance More V5 or 1080 V14. I quietly hoped that the Hierro V9 would be the trail equivalent of those models, and while in terms of upper comfort it definitely is, the actual running experience for me as someone who likes soft shoes was average. This probably isn't the fault of the foam itself, but rather the combination with a rather firm outsole. Nevertheless, during easy runs after just a few kilometers, I felt my legs getting more tired than usual, and at the same time, this firmness doesn't translate into responsiveness. I wouldn't count the few strides I did in these shoes among my pleasant experiences. Stability is also just okay, but again, I must note that this is rather a very individual matter. My medium width feet still had plenty of room in the shoe, and even despite using the heel lock, my feet on descents, climbs, or simply uneven terrain just moved sideways. The length was fine, but the sideways moves were there. The New Balance Hierro V9 is a solid shoe for beginner trail runners or urban runners who are looking for shoes with similar characteristics to road shoes and want to occasionally venture into terrain more challenging than asphalt. It will be a good choice for people who prefer medium firm shoes as well as heavier runners. There's plenty of room for the foot and quite a lot of cushioning too. I unfortunately don't fit this profile, so my experience was average, but I definitely see the potential. If you've made it to the end, thanks so much for watching. Hit subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and definitely write in the comments what do you think about these shoes. Also check out my Instagram and TikTok. All the links are in the description. See you in the next video.